And I guess with the offseason too, Amber mentioned in her exit interview that the number one priority was to land Kelsey in free agency again. Just how important was she to your team this year? How important has she been to the Fever? Obviously, the 8 years she's been with the franchise, and how badly do you want to keep her around?
I mean, yeah, she was the number one priority a year ago, and she's the number one priority this year.
Let's talk about it now that Stephanie White has spoken out loud about the quiet part. In her most recent interview, she made it clear that she cares most about Kelsey Mitchell, not Caitlin Clark, a famous player who broke almost every record you can think of. Not the guy who packed arenas from coast to coast and made the Fever famous across the country all by himself. No, everyone is looking at Kelsey. Let's be fair before someone twists this. Kelsey Mitchell is a very skilled and experienced warrior who has earned her respect. But there is a big difference between keeping a star player and building your whole team around them. One makes you want to win. The other one tells you whether you're trying to win the championship or just make the playoffs. Not only what White said, but also how sure she was in her words is shocking. It looked like the choice had been made before Caitlin's foot hit the ground. What do you think about what Coach White said? Let us know in the comments part below.
I have not lost sight of the fact that when Caitlin Clark got injured, Stephanie White called it a, quote, blessing in disguise. I've also said that I believe if you gave Stephanie White truth serum, she would actually tell you she believes this team was better without Caitlin Clark. I believe that. And I felt that way for quite some time. I believe that she believes that Kelsey Mitchell is the superstar on this team.
Then that line came out, which was really a blessing. When your coach calls your star player's illness that, it stops being coach talk and sounds like betrayal. Think about the numbers. Kelsey Mitchell got 19.2 points per game this season. Without a doubt strong. Last year, Caitlin Clark was right there with 19 points, 8.4 assists, the most in the league, and almost 6 rebounds per game. The really cool thing is that she did it while thinking about new ways to defend against Fever. One makes those around her better. The other person is just very good at making her own shot. Yes, both are important, but only one lasts for generations, and we all know which one it is. This is where things get really funny. After the Olympic break last season, when Caitlin was finally freed up to be the main player, Kelsey Mitchell's stats got better. She got more points with Caitlin's attack than with Stephanie White's motion method this year. Take that in. Everyone did better when the offense was focused around Caitlin. White doesn't seem to understand this, though. She acts like the franchise's future is just her, not Caitlin Clark's.
What Chrissy Sides ended up running was Caitlin's system. Now this year, the second half of the season, it was the whatever system, motion offense system. But that system did not work very well for Kelsey. Now, Kelsey balled out, but she's going to ball out regardless. You know what I'm saying? And she's kind of a phenomenal player.
Let's start the talk now. You can hear the polish in every word. When White says it, she doesn't add, "We're going to keep building around her." Not both stars or the center of our galaxy, but her. Only one. If you read this, you'll already know everything you need to know before the official news release comes out. It sounds like business talk, but is really basketball strategy. The kind of statement that makes it sound like a choice has already been made. It's like those meetings where the boss thanks everyone for their hard work and then tells everyone who will be replaced. But this is where the reasoning doesn't make sense. White kept talking about dedication, saying that Kelsey earned it after years of losing seasons, problems, and starting over. And being loyal is a good thing. But being loyal doesn't get you awards. The ability of a generation does. The Warriors didn't build around the guy who had been with them the longest. Their building was based on Steph Curry. It wasn't longevity that helped Cleveland win. They put all of their money on LeBron James. That's how kingdoms are made. Being loyal makes you stable. With talent, you can get flags.
Now, Kelsey Mitchell is a very important piece. She's part of the big three. But there's only one Jordan-like generational talent on this team, and it's Caitlin Clark. The fact is, Kelsey Mitchell, Leah Boston, they were around before Caitlin showed up. And they got the number 1 overall pick to get Caitlin Clark.
That's why this move feels like an insult. Not just for Caitlin Clark, but also for Fever fans who thought the team was finally getting better. It is one thing to have disagreements with yourself. It's a different thing to openly fire the player who made your team famous across the country. This is being criticized by more than just fans. Analysts, people who work inside the game, and even past players all see the same cracks getting bigger. It's not a plot when so many smart basketball people get together. It's agreement. When Kelsey Mitchell is your first pick, you can only do so much. That's not a bad thing. That is the truth about basketball. That's how you can beat the Atlanta Dream. You might even get by an Aces team that is tired. But when you play a Minnesota Lynx or a full-fledged New York Liberty, that cap hits you hard. The worst part is that Stephanie White knows this. She's played for too long not to. Offensive balance, player types, and space are all things she knows. So if she decides to build the team around someone who isn't the point guard of her age, it's not because she wants to win. It's because she wants to save face. What makes this so annoying is that it's caused by something else.
Since they ass is by far not good enough for me. I am sorry. I mean, you got Stephanie White right there. Ask these hardcore questions. What was really wrong with Caitlin Clark? The reason why she did not come back from that ankle injury. We never seen her in a boot. A groin injury is pretty much pulled muscle. Ask those tough questions. Ask her, do you believe had Caitlin Clark returned, y'all could have had a chance to go far? Now, granted, she might not have answered that one, but it wouldn't have hurt to ask.
The accident story is the real elephant in the room. When you start to connect the dots, the numbers stop making sense. What really happened with Caitlin Clark's ankle injury? Why wasn't there a boot? Why did a problem with my hip overnight become a problem with my ankle? In a way, it feels more like fixing problems than giving medical news. Fans aren't stupid. They pay attention when timelines change and different answers don't make sense. That's not a case of misunderstanding. That's a sign of company dysfunction. This is the red sign. People expect that professional sports will always be open and honest. Teams that don't talk mean they have something to hide. Whether it's stress in the locker room, problems in the front office, or something more serious. While Caitlin was fit enough to play again, the team kept her out. This is because they wanted to control her, not protect her. Look at how other teams handle their stars and tell us what you think. When Breanna Stewart went down, the Liberty kept everyone up to date at all times. When Ajay Wilson had some small health problems, Vegas told the truth about it. Even Elena DeLon's ongoing problems were talked about in public. Oh, but Indiana. There was silence, no details, and no honesty. There was only confusing PR speak that left fans and, to be honest, Caitlin herself out to dry.
I also believe part of Kelsey Mitchell's performance this year was the fact that Caitlin wasn't there to take some of those shots. The fact is, Kelsey Mitchell took some shots that would have been Caitlin's. Let's just be real. And because of that extra volume and the fact that she had to be the main offensive threat, it also caused it caused an explosion in her stats.
It wasn't often disputed by the media. When White's claims didn't make sense, there weren't any tough questions or arguments. The Fever's PR staff seems to have given their approval for that interview ahead of time. Fans quickly saw through it, so it only got about 1,000 views. They know when something smells fake and when it smells like a business. There's more going on here than just a missed chance to talk. It breaks trust because people need to know the truth when the foundation of your brand is hurt. Caitlin needs to know the truth. In her place, she was pushed aside for messages from the group. The most painful thing is that she made the team important in the first place. Who brought back the fans and made Indiana basketball important again? Stephanie White may think she is in charge, but it looks like she is sinking the ship right now. Because depending on loyalty instead of smarts costs more than just games. It costs faith as well. And this brand will lose Caitlin's trust, which is the only thing they can't get back. Their future.
I like Kelsey Mitchell. I'm not trying to dog out Kelsey Mitchell, but she's the clear number 2 option on this team. All right, and everything should run through Caitlin Clark.
The mask is finally taken off when we talk about what happened after Caitlin Clark went down. After Caitlin left, Kelsey Mitchell was used a lot more. It was now Kelsey's turn to handle every ball that Caitlin used to have. including fast breaks, late game sets, and long plays. She did a good job though. She had great stats, made important shots, and looked like an all-star. But there is an unpleasant truth that no one in the Fever group wants to say. Most of the time, players look better when the big star isn't on the court. They haven't suddenly gotten better overnight, but the offense has been pumped up to get by them. It's like when LeBron James gets hurt and his stats as a second choice go through the roof. The team doesn't get better even though they get more shots, honors, and attention. It just keeps going. That's the lie going on in Indiana right now. Kelsey Mitchell is doing great without Caitlin, but she is doing it in a system that is set up for volume rather than win. There is a difference between being a winner and being a cornerstone, even though she's a great player. To be more specific, Kelsey Mitchell is like Scottie Pippen, a great two-way player, who is needed to do well but not the most important part of a winning team. Before anyone gets the wrong idea, remember that Scottie is one of the best players of all time. But what happened when Michael Jordan first quit the NBA? The same Bulls team went from being a powerhouse to being dumped in the first round. The players and coaches are the same, but the main point of attention has changed. That's exactly what's going on here. Kelsey Mitchell can help you build. You can't build around her.
She has decided that she's building around Kelsey Mitchell. And to build around Kelsey Mitchell, Caitlin Clark is not who you need to build around Kelsey Mitchell. You need to build around Kelsey Mitchell. You have to build an Allen Iverson type Sixers team. You can have, in my opinion, you should trade Aaliyah as well. In my opinion, you should trade. I don't think Aaliyah is the right center to have beside Kelsey Mitchell. Like, I think you should trade Kate. You should trade Caitlin. You should trade Aaliyah.
This is clear to Stephanie White. She has played basketball all her life. She studied systems all through her work. If she was really built around Kelsey, she would need a whole new team. One who hides her flaws instead of talking about them. There would have to be defense experts everywhere. A point guard who would rather pass the ball than receive it. A rim guard that doesn't need to be touched. Behind the arc, there are 3 and D wings. You'd have to basically copy the 2001 Allen Iverson Sixers, a team that got to the finals once, ran out of steam, and never came back. That's not a way to be successful in the long run. That's how you go about making it to the playoffs just once. This is the sad irony. The Indiana Fever are already building a team that will win a title. They just don't want to see it. Caitlin Clark will be your attack builder and floor general. Kelsey Mitchell is your killer off the ball. You can use Aaliyah Boston as an anchor and defense wall in the low post. These are the big 3 of today. That is an attack from the 21st century made for speed, area, and chaos. The kind that no one in the league can protect. We saw it happen last season. Christie's side finally gave Caitlin the keys after the Olympics, and the Fever looked electric. Kelsey's score did not go down. It worked better after that. Caitlin made better shots, which helped Aaliyah score and get boards. The crew moved together like a choir. Stephanie White then went in, tore up the sheet music, and put in a motion attack that gives everyone touches, but doesn't really give anyone an identity.
How important was she to your team this year? How important has she been to the Fever? Obviously, the 8 years she's been with the franchise, and how badly do you want to keep her around?
I mean, yeah, she was the number 1 priority a year ago, and she's the number 1 priority this year. She's been so important. And, I said this last year, Kelsey deserves to go through this stage of her Indiana Fever career. She's been through sort of the worst of the worst, for lack of a better term.
Instead of focusing more on the star who changed the franchise's direction, White has made it clear that Kelsey is the main focus. Not Caitlin Clark, the player who broke more than 60 records, drew huge crowds to road venues, and brought the WNBA back to the attention of people across the country. No, it was the 8-year pro who couldn't keep Indiana out of the lottery for most of his time there. Just so you know, this is not about putting Kelsey down. How you run your business is the most important thing. What kind of person are you? Do you want to be great, or do you value tenure? History doesn't know who was around the longest. It keeps track of who changed the game. He had been with the Lakers the longest, but they didn't build around him. They built with Kobe Bryant in mind. There was no loyalty on the part of the Warriors when they built their offense around Draymond Green, They paid attention to Steph Curry because he was great. The Indiana Fever have mixed up emotion and plan, and that's the kind of mistake that ends empires before they even start. This is where things get really messy. Kelsey Mitchell can sign with anyone. She has power over him. She knows that she has the power to ask for the bag. Caitlin, on the other hand, has 2 years left on her starting deal. She can't come to an agreement. She can't ask for a trade. She can't give an honest answer without making herself look like the problem. In other words, Stephanie White's words make sense from a negotiation point of view. Make sure your free agent is happy. The game and leadership, on the other hand, are both terrible, because making it clear that you like Kelsey more than Caitlin sends a clear message. It's politics over results.
I'm telling you right now, I believe Stephanie White believes Kelsey Mitchell's the best player on this team. That's on a team that's got Caitlin Clark on the team, on the roster.
We are instead seeing the Fever fall into the same echo chamber that destroys every promising team. The senior gets praise from the coach. It's repeated in the front desk. The public affairs staff encourage balance and putting the team first. At the same time, no one is asking the tough questions. Does this attack really work? Are we making the most of our best player? Are we getting ready for a title or just keeping our pride up? To be honest, the track record says it all. For several years, Kelsey Mitchell has scored the most points for Indiana. What did they get then? There have been seasons with 5 wins, constant rebuilding cycles, and coaching moves. The Fever was the funny part. After Caitlin Clark joined, they quickly became the most wanted women's basketball tickets. There are no more road games. The stores were empty of jerseys. ESPN put their games in the middle of the night. That was done by one player, one generational ability. Instead of building a future around her, the group is saying, "Thanks for saving us. Now go stand in the corner." This is the kind of mistake that will get them into trouble for years to come. Max will give the deal to Kelsey. She deserves it. When you get money, you have to do certain things. She's now the star player for the team. And when the excitement hits its peak, which will have to be a loss in the second round of the playoffs or at most a trip to the conference finals, the questions will start to come in. Why doesn't Caitlin Clark run the attack more? She feels like she's being held back by the system. Why pick a seasoned scorer over a superstar who will only play once in a generation? It will be too late by then.
Tell her every day, like, I love being her coach and I want to continue to be her coach for as long as she'll be a member of the Indiana Fever. And yes, she is absolutely the number one priority.
The deal with Caitlin Clark ends in 2 years. And what reason would she have to stay if she spends those years in a system that doesn't recognize how great she is and hears a coach openly downplay her importance? She could walk into any locker room in the United States, even in New York, Las Vegas, or Los Angeles, and make them instant contenders. Indiana could lose more than just a few games if it keeps putting politics ahead of chance. They made it risky for the brand to continue. The worst part is now here. It's not even special. There is a problem with WNBA players being evaluated and with organizations not seeing things clearly. Teams put too much stock in loyalty and don't see the winners that are right in front of them. Just recently, the Fever were another small market team that put comfort ahead of vision. When Caitlin's deal is up, every major league team will want to sign her. The Liberty has a big market and the right building for a title. It's clear that the Aces know how to win. The Sparks are seen by people outside of Los Angeles and the Crossing market. Everyone is going to be ready. Indiana will be left behind with their motion offense and will be confused about how they lost the most popular and innovative female basketball player in decades. And the news stories will all say the same thing on that day. Caitlin Clark was lied to by the Fever because they missed out on not only a player, but also a chance for future generations. They put loyalty over memory, comfort over bravery, and service over transcendence. And that's the one mistake you can never make again in sports. What do you think about what Coach White said? Let us know in the comments part below. Make sure you like, follow, and turn on the bell so you don't miss anything. We'll see you next after you click the movie on the screen.